Have you ever considered how the male gaze shapes our society? This concept, the male gaze, is a prevalent force in our world, woven deep into the fabric of our collective consciousness. It's a lens, a framework, through which many aspects of our culture are viewed and interpreted. Consider the media we consume. Movies, TV shows, advertisements. They are often crafted with a specific perspective in mind, a perspective that caters to the male gaze. Women are frequently portrayed in hypersexualized ways, presented with unrealistic beauty standards that are both unattainable and harmful. These portrayals do more than just objectify women. They reinforce notions of inferiority and subjugation, subtly conveying the message that a woman's worth lies in her physical attributes rather than her intelligence, strength, or character. The male gaze, while a term from film theory, is a reality that permeates our everyday lives. It's a cultural lens that shapes how we perceive and interact with the world around us. The impact of the male gaze is far-reaching and pervasive. It's not just a cinematic concept, it's a societal one, creeping into every corner of our lives, from public spaces to the private corners of our minds. It's on the streets, where women find themselves subjected to unnecessary comments and inappropriate interactions, reduced to mere physical attributes. But it doesn't stop there. This gaze, this scrutiny, extends beyond the external world and seeps into the internal, becoming a part of our mental landscape. It transforms into an internalized surveillance, an ever-present watcher. Women are not just seen, but also see themselves through this lens, constantly evaluating their physical appearance, their actions, their worth. To understand this phenomenon better, let's consider a 2019 study where researchers used eye-tracking technology to observe men's gazing behavior towards women. The results were telling. Men focused more on sexual body parts when asked to evaluate women's looks as opposed to their faces. This focus, this objectification, it's not just external, it's internalized, becoming a part of how women see themselves. Now imagine living under this gaze, this constant scrutiny. It's like being on a stage, always performing, always conscious of the audience, real or imagined. And this performance, it takes a toll. It's a mental burden, a stressor that can have significant effects on mental health and self-perception. But here's the kicker. This performance, it's not for a real audience, it's for a non-existent one. It's a performance of femininity for an imagined male spectator. It's a performance that has been so ingrained, so internalized, that many women aren't even aware they're doing it. The male gaze is not just an external force, but one that has been internalized by many women, leading to self-objectification and the performance of femininity for a non-existent male audience. This is the power of the male gaze. It's not just about how women are seen, but how they see themselves. And this, my friends, is where objectification transforms into internalization. Knowledge is power, and understanding the male gaze is the first step in challenging its influence. By acknowledging its presence and the ways it permeates our everyday lives, we can begin to dismantle the structures that uphold it. This awareness is not just about recognizing the external pressures and expectations placed on women, but also understanding how these forces have been internalized, how they shape our own perceptions of ourselves, our bodies, and our worth. Taking this understanding a step further, we can begin to change these perceptions. We can challenge the societal norms and standards that have been constructed through the lens of the male gaze. We can redefine beauty, strength, and value on our own terms. This is more than just a shift in perspective. It's a reclaiming of agency, a seizing of control. It's time to move from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, navigating our society with confidence, ambition, and a fresh perspective, free from the constraints of the male gaze.